Today we're going to work a little bit again on finding a character's traits. We did this in the fall with characters from Fables, and today we're going to do it with some characters from our story, Edward Tulane, His Miraculous Journey. Your success criteria are that you're going to record notes on the thoughts, feelings, and actions of a character. You're going to use the notes to describe a character and infer a trait, and then you're going to wrap your answer. Traits, you'll remember, are tried and true. They don't change. Okay, a feeling is not a trait. I'm not a happy or sad or mad person. Those are just how I feel sometimes. A trait would be something like energetic, exciting, fascinating, strange, unusual, perceptive, thoughtful, caring, loving. These are traits. They're something that is true about a person across the way they act all the time. You can figure out a character's traits by looking for patterns of behavior. How do they keep acting over and over? You can use your memories to connect those patterns together, and you can look at relationships between characters. Traits are the same across a set of details from a text. So it's not just how a person is feeling in a moment, but how they keep acting throughout a passage. I'm going to model for you identifying Nellie's character traits, and then I want you to try for Lolly. So watch me. I'm going to do this with Nellie's character traits. Here we go. So I'm looking for anything that Nellie thinks, says, or does. I'm going to type those outside my head. And those will be my notes. And then inside the head, I'm going to say what I know. Someone who does, thinks, or acts this, or says things like this, this is the way they're acting. And then I'm going to try to put those together to make a character trait. Lolly was a lumpy woman who spoke too loudly and who wore too much lipstick. Let's get this a little bit bigger here. I don't really care what Lolly's like right now because I'm working on Nellie, but you're going to want to care about Lolly. That's who you're going to be writing about. She entered the house and immediately spotted Edward sitting on the living room couch. "What's this?" she said. She put down her suitcase and picked Edward up by one foot. She held him upside down. "That's Susanna," said Nellie. "Susanna!" shouted Lolly. She gave Edward a shake. His dress was up over his head and he could see nothing. Already he had formed a deep and abiding hatred for Lolly. "Your father found her," said Nellie. "She came up from Annette and he didn't have no clothes on her, so I made her some dresses." "Have you gone skivvy?" shouted Lolly. "Rabbits don't need clothes." "Well," said Nellie. Her voice shook. "This one seemed to." Okay, so how is Nellie? What is she saying? She says, father found Edward. So she's kind of like blaming the fact that she has this toy rabbit on her husband, right? I made him some clothes. Okay, what do I know? Well, she's acting a little bit, I don't know, like defensive. She's maybe being intimidated a little bit or scared. She doesn't seem like she's standing up for herself right now. So that's my description. So you see what I did? I took something that she said, I wrote it out in my notes, and then inside my head I thought about, okay, well, how is this person acting? We're going to see some patterns inside our heads about Nellie and use them to describe her with a trait. Let's keep reading. Lolly tossed Edward back on the couch. He landed face down with his arms over his head and his dress still over his face, and he stayed that way through dinner. "Why have you got out that old high chair?" shouted Lolly. "Oh, don't pay it no mind," said Nellie. "Your father was just gluing on a missing piece, wasn't you, Lawrence?" "That's right," said Lawrence, without looking up from his plate. Of course, after dinner, Edward did not go outside and stand beneath the stars to have a smoke with Lawrence. And Nellie, for the first time since Edward had been with her, did not sing him a lullaby. In fact, Edward was ignored and forgotten about until the next morning. So, even though she usually sings him a lullaby, she doesn't. Nellie doesn't sing him a lullaby. So she doesn't sing a lullaby when Lolly is around. I think she's acting maybe a little bit embarrassed. To have this pet rabbit, right? This toy rabbit. So she's a little defensive, a little intimidated, or scared by her daughter, and she's a little embarrassed. Lolly picked him up again, pulled his dress down away from his face, and stared him in the eye. "Got the old folks bewitched, don't you?" said Lolly. "I heard talk in town that they've been treating you like a rabbit child." Edward stared back at Lolly. Her lipstick was a bright and bloody red. He felt a cold breeze blow through the room. Was a door open somewhere? "Well, you don't fool me," she said. She gave him a shake. "We'll be taking a trip together, you and me." Holding Edward by the ears, Lolly marched into the kitchen and shoved him face down in the garbage can. "Ma!" Lolly shouted. "I'm taking the truck. I'm going to head on out and do some errands." "Oh," came Nellie's tremulous voice. That means it was shaking. "That's wonderful, dear. Goodbye, then." "Goodbye," thought Edward, as Lolly hauled him the garbage can out to the truck. "Goodbye," Nellie called again, louder this time. Okay, so Nellie doesn't talk to her very well. She kind of like says, "Oh, goodbye." Voice trembling. So again, she seems kind of scared of her daughter, or like, I don't know, just she doesn't seem to be sticking up for herself or the thing that she likes and cares about, right? So let's look at our list of traits here and see if we can find one. I think that she is acting insecure, timid, or shy. These are all words that mean someone who's not going to stick up for themselves. So my inference is Nellie is insecure. Okay. Now I need to defend that with the text. So I'm going to say, the question is, describe Nellie's character trait. So my answer is, Nellie's character trait is, okay, check, I just restated the question, now I'm going to answer it, is insecure. I think this is true because I used a proof stem there. I'm going to prove my answer. In the text, she lets her daughter bully her about having Edward, even though Nellie clearly loves him. For example, she doesn't sing him a lullaby when Lolly is around, and she makes excuses for making him clothes. Okay, so I wrapped my answer. This is your job today. On today's assignment, you're going to take notes using my little head thing, and then you're going to upload a picture of your notes, and then you're going to wrap your answer in today's assignment. So at this time, I want you to take a screenshot of my head. I'll put it full screen so you can see it. Take a screenshot of my head, and you are going to describe not Nellie, but Lolly, the daughter, in Chapter 10. There will be a read aloud of the chapter for you to listen to, and you'll be able to read the text as well. So, taking a screenshot of this, and then you're going to be using the character traits listed here to describe her. So you can take a screenshot of this as well. I'll also make this list available to you on the assignment so that you have it in front of you. So what I want to know is, what is Lolly like? What does her character trait seem to be in Chapter 10? Based on what she says, does, and thinks, you tell me how she's acting and use that to infer one character trait. And then you'll defend your answer just like I did. See you on the other side.